So today we have an amazing initiation ahead of us. This is going to be an amazing lunar cycle, so aligned with our cosmic mother nature. And it is really our own design, this beautiful design that you see here that we are uncovering. This is the most important design. You know, all beings in cosmos have a design because cosmic mother nature is a designer, really. She's many things, but she designed things, as you know, through numerology. So numbers are very important, geometry, super important. And then the energy can flow through it. Because, you know, if you want to build something, you need a good design. And so we have a good design. We just haven't been able to really benefit from it so easily. But within us is the design of nature. In the past, there were some beings who didn't want us to be all that natural. And so they kind of, led us astray, but also we led ourselves astray. And we have a civilization that just went off kind of the path of Mother Nature. But we are returning to that nature. I very often communicate with my Hopi grandmother. My Hopi grandmother is a grandmother that is my star grandmother. And we have many different beings who obviously are part of us. It's really important to know that you are never, ever alone. It's the most incredibly moving, touching thing when you meet beings, whether they are here or not here, who have been really part of your growing, your evolution, your being, your mission for maybe billions of years. Imagine that love. It always moves me, you know, sometimes when I need encouragement, I just go to this grandmother. And I also had a really wonderful physical grandmother, biological grandmother in this world. But, you know, like you and me, we are so connected to so many different worlds. And it's nice to know we are always loved. We are always loved because that's the design of things. And so sometimes you have these amazing star relatives who work with you. And so this amazing grandmother, when she came to me, I was 4 years old and I was actually living with my grandparents. So suddenly this grandmother appeared and she just kind of took me out of body and we traveled a little bit together. And I was living in Czechoslovakia, so I often mention how wonderful by design it is to be born in a country that didn't have much to offer in terms of TV, entertainment, nothing. And so the kids, you know, we lived in a small town. We just played in nature all the time. And so it was great. Not so long ago, really. But things have changed, you know, now everybody is glued to their iPhones, iPads, and who knows what. But hopefully you also are from that generation that actually got to play in nature all the time. So you got to actually really upload her into your body and she got to be part of you. So you remember what it's like. And so this is the design. The design was that we all will feel her, to feel her running through us, no matter, you know, how old we are, young we are. There was a feeling to it. And this feeling is something that humanity lost. And that's why we have so much dysfunction, because so many humans disconnected from the feeling of what it is like to be connected to nature. It is beyond what we today experience when we go for a hike. You know, we also have been through a lot, but the original design was actually that she will run through us at all times, as you see it here. And we spoke about the Sacred Heart. The Sacred Heart, it is hard to imagine what it actually is, because we all will actually have to liberate this heart. And this is what my grandmother taught me when I was 4 years old. And she was the grandmother from the stars. So I actually am her grandson, which kind of is really funny, but that's how we are. You know, we have these relationships. Even though you might be in a female body, you still might be someone's grandson in the stars. And so she took me on this initiation journey when I was 4, and she explained to me the importance of the Sacred Heart and how in this lifetime, it will be the lifetime when we must crack the walls around the heart open. And you see these walls in a way as, you know, what happens to human beings when they have been around for a long time, they kind of develop like a shell around the heart. And then we have to actually break that shell. And so in this lifetime, we're going to be breaking this shell. We might, hopefully it's not going to be so painful. So let's maybe dissolve it. Breaking sounds painful. And so she told me in this lifetime, it will be absolutely this groundbreaking experience for humanity, where we will purify these sacred hearts and we will kind of do the impossible. She said it's going to feel impossible. And this is what we are all doing. We are doing the impossible right here, right now. Actually, it's really incredible, the mission that you took on. This mission is so impossible that one day Divine Mother told me, it's not a fair battle, but this was a really long time ago. And so she said, keep going in. And we, you and me, around the world, all of us, we have gone in. And this was the mission impossible that is now succeeding. It takes a great courage to actually dissolve this shell around the Sacred Heart, because then you become so vulnerable, so sensitive, so you feel with all life. And when you feel with all life in a place where it's not so easy to feel, then, it's kind of what happened in Mu, because we stopped feeling. We stopped feeling because it was too painful to feel. Now, I come from a place that I think all of you here come from too. There were two civilizations eventually on this planet. The first one, the original one, was what the Hopi people called Kaskara. So it was the civilization of Mu. Most of it is gone, but we were the brown people of the earth, and we were the loving people of the earth, and we were the ones connected to nature through the heart, through the rainbow body. And so it's really interesting to think about what happened at the end of Mu, and this is a really long time ago. For example, the Hopi people, they were the part of the Mu civilization. So Australian Aboriginals as well, all the Polynesians, all the Hawaiians, those were the Mu people, very loving, very laid back, very peaceful. And so when you have peaceful people, they don't want to go into big battles. So when someone comes who's okay, being aggressive, as the other civilizations were then it's very easy to take over them. And today, we give thanks in the US. It's a holiday that's celebrated by so many. There is this story about Native people and who knows what really happened. But I just want to say, for example, so many of us live on the native land that belonged to the Native people, the original people. And then, of course, the white men just came, took it all, killed most people. And today, this is where we at. But that's exactly what happened in Mu. You had these amazing original people who were so full of love, so peaceful. They just didn't want to put up the fight. And so today, this is where we at. But we came in here now in whatever body, whatever color, it doesn't matter at all. It is all about the rainbow light that we are bringing back. For example, the ancient mystery speaks about the Christ self. Again, nothing to do with Jesus. The Christ self is a cosmic self that we are all uncovering. This is pretty much what you can see the Christ self as, because it is the rainbow body. Now, the ancient mysteries also describe the serpent power as the Christ self. Very interesting. So again, we're looking at the ancient mysteries. How far do we want to go? Do we want to go, millions of years back to Mu? Do we want to go thousands of years back to Atlantis? So we've had so many ancient, really, times here, civilizations, societies. And so some of the mysteries are really lost. So what we bring here, we bring the mystery of Mu, the original blueprint before it got distorted. So the original blueprint is that this is us in our highest state of being. This is the Christ self, if we want to call it that. Again, it has so many names. I like to call it the rainbow body. It's pretty simple. We see rainbow. This is the rainbow body. This is what we are becoming. You and me are becoming the rainbow child once again, the rainbow child. And we can be, 100 years old and still be that child, because the heart has to be innocent. The heart has to be completely liberated. I met Divine Mother once at Mount Shasta. It was actually at Shasta Lake. So if you are familiar with Mount Shasta, the Shasta Lake is a little bit more south, so not directly at all, but it's called Shasta Lake. And so I was kind of, invoking the mother. I was like, talk to me tonight. And then she came and she knocked me out of body and she pulled me out and she pulled me into the earth. And she appeared to me in her original form, the aboriginal form. She was black. She was a big black lady. And we sat in the soil. She very often will do that. Like we have so many underground cities and people wonder, how does it work? How do you breathe? Where do you get the light? But for example, if you have had any of these experiences that I'm describing here, you know that you go beyond anything that you might possibly need. And even when you go into, for example, a civilization like inside Mount Shasta, so once you get in, if they let you, of course, because they only let in, you know, when the light body is aligned, so they have natural protection, but then you have such a system which actually is living not of the physical sun that we have here, but the non-physical suns. So it is still an illuminated world. It is not a world that is suffering from lack. It is abundant. It is perfect. And so I had this amazing meeting with Divine Mother inside the earth and the soil. And it is the most pleasurable feeling that I can actually imagine as a human being. It's blissful when you are sitting in the soil with Divine Mother. And so she talks to me and she says, Adi, thank you for forgiving. And I know exactly what she meant. You know, sometimes we have stories from our past childhood. And it was so simple. She said, thank you for forgiving. And I was asking her, it was like, is that such a big deal? And she said, it's a huge deal to completely forgive, And so, you know, I realize what it does. Forgiveness, when it is complete and absolutely no residue is left behind, liberates the heart. And so no matter what happens, let us always forgive and liberate the heart, because nothing is more important than your heart for all that is to come. What is it that is to come? Quite a bit is about to come. Again, you know, I always try to like translate the mystery in, I try to organize it within my own being, but there's always more and more and more. The other day I was in Texas, was visiting my daughter, sorry, wrong relationship. But I was visiting my daughter, and I have a meditation practice where I meditate a lot in the morning, especially early in the morning, as much as I can, because it's such a great time to meditate around sunrise. And so I'm meditating, and usually, you know, the third eye opens, and then you have either visitations, you travel a little bit, you see into creation. And I saw something that, for example, Yogananda spoke about so much, but I never was able to see it until really 2 weeks ago, a week ago. So this shocked me, I have to tell you. So if you know anything about Yogananda, and maybe all the other different yogis maybe said the same, I really don't know. They always told us that we are in a movie, and they called it the cosmic dream. And they said someone's writing the script, it's a novel, and we are not really in charge so much, but we are characters in this movie. Yogananda always called it the cosmic movie. Sometimes he called it the cosmic novel. And he said we are characters in this cosmic movie. And so I've never seen myself really as a character, but he made a recommendation. So I trust Yogananda with all my heart. And so Yogananda said, since you are a character, play the best role you can, be the role of love. And he said, even if you are what he called, you know, he used a lot of the biblical kind of language so that people could understand him, but he only did it so that he could fit in. And so he said, you know, we have sinners and we have saints, and they are playing roles, but even a sinner can be transformed into a saint. And even a sinner can play the role and to become a saint. So he said, you know, be the best you can be in your role. So, okay, I thought he was using some kind of metaphor. But while I was meditating in Texas that one morning, suddenly I'm in this movie and I realized, oh my gosh, we all are actors. Now, it was like, you know, when you have these big like breakthrough experiences, you can't undo it. It's like meeting Divine Mother. And so I see myself, I'm in the movie, and you are in the movie, and everyone around me is in the movie, and we all are actors. Now I thought, oh my gosh, I am an actor, you are an actor, and we all are playing this game here. And then I look around and I see that some, and actually many, if not all of us, forgot that we are actors in a really good cosmic movie where we all were meant to play the role of love. And now I see how some people take this game so seriously, if not all of us. And I saw the fall kind of within this game, the cosmic movie. And I saw the fall. I saw when someone thought that their hatred was real and they harmed someone else. And I saw what that did. It was the end of the fun movie, and it became the movie of suffering and pain. And I saw how that started to inflict suffering and pain onto the humankind. And that as long as we played as love, as kindness, and all the beautiful 7 qualities you see here. So as long as your role was beautifully fulfilled, as Divine Mother said, it was all meant to be beautiful. Yeah, it was all meant to be beautiful. If everyone is grace, appreciation, kindness, gentleness, gratitude, love, and thankfulness, imagine what a movie that would be. Maybe a little boring, I don't know. But definitely really pleasant to be in. And so I saw this. And then, you know, when you have these experiences, you kind of totally in it. You forget about your human self here. So I'm in my other human self there. And I'm an actor. And I realized everyone is an actor. So then I'm with some group of people and they get really violent and they start like, you know, threatening with gun violence, which, you know, I guess is happening quite a bit these days here. And so they were going to shoot me in the hand and say, we want you to suffer. And I was looking at them, I was saying, guys, please remember, this is not real. You are an actor. You're not supposed to be harming anyone. You should never be harming any part of life. We are all just actors in this cosmic movie. And so that is the awakening of Christ consciousness. Christ consciousness is the awakening in that dream, within the dream, and saying, okay, so I am an actor. So there are many different stories in the yogic traditions where the being awakens from the dream, but they are still in it. And then there is the story, for example, of Dattatreya. Dattatreya. So then Krishna, another one, and I guess Uncle Jesus too, the ones who wake up, they are still here in this movie, but they realize nothing can harm you. It is not all that real, so we can't take it all that seriously. But since we are here, let us do a great job with the role that we play. I love that quote. So this is really incredible. Absolutely. So the key is, yes, I'm here, you here. We're not going to check out. We're going to keep playing, but we will play well. So how do we play well? We play well when we are all love. And then we realize we cannot be harmed. Fear cannot be real. If you know that you are in a cosmic dream and you are eternal, then even when the gun is pointing at the head, then we still are silent and in trust of the light that is within us. And, you know, it's a quick transition, by the way, when we go out. So nothing hurts too long. It's good to know too. So as human beings, we are being prepared for a big transition. And it's good to think about these things. Think about what happens when you permanently leave the physical body that you have right now. Where do you go then? You know that until recently, most people who died, let's call it how it is, they would get lost in the ghost world. It's a very confusing world. And if we don't know, right, then as soon as you leave the body, you know, the transition is immediate transition. And for those of you who have left the body before or had near-death experience, you know, it's immediate. There is no moment of like, oh no, I'm dead. It's more like, ooh, this feels really good. I'm much bigger than I used to be. I'm feeling really good right now. Unless the person has to go through their own emotional body, which never feels good. But that's why we do the work we do. We do this work because we are thinking about what's next. The second season, Onyx, what is it? OA? The OA? Never heard of. So I want to say, you know, no matter how old you are, no matter how young you are, think about what happens when you actually are given the opportunity to leave the body. For example, so, okay, I'll look it up. So, for example, when the solar flash comes, don't we all want to end up on the new Earth? Absolutely. I don't want to bring any garbage with me that I would have to deal with in any other dimensions, straight into bliss, please. Yogananda was so strict with himself. And I know I told the story before, but I just want to say how strict he was with himself. He said, if one thing attaches you to the old self, you will have to resolve it. So he really liked coffee. And he one day realized he really likes it. And because he realized he really likes something of this world, he must let go, because he does not want to have to deal with it once he leaves. I know I drink coffee too, and I love it. But I'm always negotiating with our divine creator. So I have a new name for the divine creator. I used to call it Father God, but I was told by him himself not to use the word God anymore, because we're moving beyond this kind of word that had a dogma attached to it. So he said, call me divine creator. So divine creator, you can negotiate with him, by the way. He has a great sense of humor. And again, many of you experience the eye of God. To me, talking to the eye of God, you can really have so much fun with that consciousness of the Father. And then we have the mother, the beautiful mother. She's very different. I'm sure she loves coffee, by the way, or whatever, Kali. I heard that she really likes red wine. I'm not sure, but Divine Mother is the mother of pleasure. Divine Mother is the opposite of anything, that you can imagine as don't do this, don't do that. I'm sure she loves chocolate too. She created Mother Nature. So yeah. I always tell her, since she made nature, then, people need to again be able to enjoy, to truly be able to receive pleasure as a path, not as an addiction, but as a path of joy, not path of enslavement. And so, it's a fine line, but it's okay. So I'll speak for about 5 more minutes about what's unfolding on planet Earth and what is so important. If you participated in our events, when Yogananda was teaching us those 4 steps, really, it's 5, but let's start with 4. Number 1, purification from all the human stuff. That is the real letting go of the human self. The human self is the one who cannot forgive no matter what happened. We have to forgive it all, because that's liberation. We want liberation, absolutely. Even if it's for a selfish reason, so that you can make the greatest of yourself, but it's in service to all, realizing that is really nothing to hold on to. Then we also let go of all the stories that we've had, like, this was my childhood, this was my marriage, this was my relationships. So we absolutely let go of it all. None of it actually matters. It's like reading from a book of life and repeating the same thing again and again. There is no reason for it. You are who you are right here, right now. When I first met Yogananda, he was the one who reminded me that the past does not matter, but what matters is what you are now and tomorrow, because that's your future and that's where you're going. And so the liberation process is what Yogananda taught us. This is the most incredible process Yogananda gave us. It's such a shortcut, And then he said the next thing, build your soul body. After you add some light, working with the angelic queendom, you build your soul body. That is so important. All the real teachings in this world do the same thing. Number 1, purification of the human self. Number 2, soul body. Number 3, Yogananda taught us, spirit body. We're just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So we go from the limited, contracted human self, let go of all of it. None of it really matters, And then we go to the next, which is the soul. Then the soul is bigger than anyone can imagine, unless you've seen your soul. It is a really big character, having its own experiences. And you are one of the experiences of your soul. It is hard to imagine. You are just one of the experiences. Whenever I'm in my soul and I talk to it, really, because it is an it, then I say, I am just your little finger, really. Like there's so much going on inside the soul, and you are just a little fractal of the soul. It's pretty incredible. So once we connect with the soul, you can find your soul specifically through the practice that Yogananda taught us. But also, if you are opening your third eye, or you have an open third eye, a great way to enter the soul is through the openness of the third eye, which very often will look like a 5-pointed star. So your soul is next, and then is the spirit, the huge spirit. I was looking for some nice pictures here of the Christ self, for example, that we are embodying here, which is another beautiful painting from Daniel Holman. And then, he makes all these beautiful paintings of these celestial worlds. So we are stepping into the ocean of spirit that you see here all around us. So again, these steps lead to source. These steps lead to Divine Mother. And it's really, you see, it's an expansion. And so as we practice the next few days, really, the 2 weeks together, we will be expanding so much. And thank you. I know it's Thanksgiving for many of you here in the US, but this is the best way to give thanks, to truly go into the divine self. So the human being will be given an amazing opportunity. I still do believe it's going to happen through the solar flash, but this is what I experienced, and this is what Jesus told me. So I was told by Uncle Jesus that something will come which will seem really like solar light, galactic light. It will come from several sources. It will come as a huge blast. And it will speed the frequency and vibration of every single one of us instantaneously. And we will instantaneously do what the Tibetan lamas do. We will evaporate. Matter will be spiritualized, and we will go straight into our rainbow light. And all of us will instantaneously be transformed in a blink of an eye into this very fast frequency, very fast vibration. And what is this? This is so fascinating to me. So when I see it, so I've experienced it myself. I've turned into pure rainbow actually one night. I was giggling because, my husband's always asleep and next to me, and I'm having all these experiences and I'm turning into rainbows and traveling out of body. And so he knows to be very quiet so that I don't have to come back. But when I experienced this was the most, it will make you giggle so much like a child again, because you will realize who you truly are. You are this Christed rainbow self. And then you are in this other dimension and everything else dissolves. So none of this, the broken world, really, it will have to dissolve too. Divine Mother doesn't want a dirty ocean. She doesn't want dirty air. She doesn't want dirty soil. It's her body. It is her body. She wants new, clean body, where humans first honor her once again. She doesn't want all these dirty elements. So she will too go into this higher state of being, into her own higher self, and we will go with her. Now, the fun thing is, and this is going to be the last thing I'm just going to say before we meditate. Today, our meditation will be from this amazing album that many of you have. This is the 4th journey. I recommend doing this as much as you can. I do it every day. I try to do twice a day in the morning as soon as you wake up. If you have it on your phone, in your music, then just while you're laying down, you don't have to be sitting up, just play this and connect with your eyes still closed and really connect to this amazing geometry that we open here today. So we will be working with the Big Dipper. We will be working with the Pleiades. We will be working with the solar light on the soul plane. We will merge with our soul. Again, we're building the soul body to be stronger and stronger. And then we will open these gateways of heaven to bring in the really violet light. You see the violet light of Polaris. So this is pretty amazing. And so the last thing I wanted to say was about physical body. Our physical body has been changed since really 2019. Yogananda came to me in October 2019, and he explained to me what would happen on planet Earth, and it was pretty mind-blowing. And so yes, this is the violet flame actually coming from Polaris. Oh yes, I was going to show you the wands. Thank you. I actually took a picture of my wand. So we just arrived home. So this is the little wand I have, which is very practical. So when you do earth healing, for example, it's made of silver and copper, and it has just a small quartz crystal here. So what is so easy about this one, you can hold it, very easily. I also have a huge one, but it's very beautiful, but so not practical because it's so heavy. But so Polaris is different from the great central sun, but it also is in the center of the galaxy. So this is the magic wand I use to direct energies. So as a magician, you speak things into ether, you speak out loud. You don't think it, you speak it. You know, we don't really think so much as magicians. We have creative thought that we use, but we use our intent. The quartz itself doesn't matter how small it is. It really doesn't matter. So this one is about 12 inches. I got it from Etsy. So looking for it's really cool. And so quartz crystal, I'm going to say a few words about this. No matter how small, if you can have a quartz crystal on you, it is constantly providing protection. I was traveling in South America many, many decades ago. And I was warned that when I arrive in South America, I will meet a soul, not in a physical body, actually, that will try to kill my soul. So, you know, you have these dark magicians in the ethers. And that's exactly what happened. But I had a crystal in my pocket, a tiny little thing like you see here, you know, probably, I don't know, an inch. It's really small. And I knew that that crystal will absolutely completely cancel out any darkness, any attack. And so it did that. It is really incredible. I was able to see what the crystals can do. They cast light. And especially when you, yeah, when you move like Harry Potter, then the light is cast. You cast light. That's amazing. So, and again, amazing protection also. All right, so the last thing I wanted to say, sorry, I completely forgot that I was going to speak about the crystals and the magic wand. But the last thing I wanted to say, our physical body is being spiritualized. It started in 2019 in October, and it is still happening. Our cells have been changed. Our DNA has been changed. And it is your I am presence, it is your divine self who is changing you on the physical level. So some people have symptoms, some people don't, some people feel great, some people don't, whatever it is. But we are going through an amazing process of preparing the physical body for the intensity of light that will come, and that will immediately take the physical to its spiritual form. So we are reversing the fall. The fall was getting trapped in matter, but now we will take matter and spiritualize that beautiful creation that she is. Matter is really the mother in form. And so we taking her back into her own light. We are resurrecting this beautiful Sophia, the goddess. It's amazing. So with that, let us go into this beautiful light. So this is a very big initiation. Yeah, you know, I only can share what I know. I've seen the solar flash so many times. I always say, you know, it's so disappointing when you see in these higher dimensions, everything is happening today and tomorrow. But and I think that's why people say, like, people who see these things, they say, oh yeah, it's imminent, it's gonna happen now. But you know, maybe all I know, it's gonna happen. Great things are gonna happen, and we need to be prepared. Prepared is doing the work we do, having a strong soul body, being really embodying the Christ body, activating the rainbow. And so this is going to help us so much. So this again is the fourth journey, and it's connecting with the pole star, so with Polaris, with Great Bear, so the Big Dipper, Sirius, and the Pleiades. So thank you. It's 24 minutes. Congratulations on really opening the gateway of heaven. This is what we did. We opened the gateway. This is exactly this picture here. The gates of heaven have been opened. You open it through your amazing power, the power of your soul, your amazingly passionate soul, because your soul is passionate about creation. We will always be in a dream, even when we go to higher dimensions. And when we go to the new earth, everything still will be a dream, but we will know that we are dreaming. And so we will be dreaming beautifully and responsibly. So that's going to be the awakening. We are awakening from a dream within a dream. And so this is what we are doing. Quite amazing. So now, of course, our practice, just quickly before we conclude, is to be creating with light. So again, you can pull down the amazing light from Polaris and create with your hands that beautiful sphere of ultraviolet light and place it into your head. Bring down all the solar light from all the different suns. Create a beautiful sphere of light. Place it within your chest, around your heart and all around. Now bring down the light of Venus. Bring heaven to earth and place white light within your abdomen. Amazing. So very beautiful. We'll continue our journey tomorrow. Again, please look at the times. I do believe it's 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. So the same time as now, but in the morning, it's going to be the typical time, 11 a.m. because we left Mount Shasta. And tomorrow we will take this to the next level. Next level. There's always the next level. So our goal here is to be ready when the moment comes to go higher. And not just higher, to go to the highest possible place we can go in creation, to be one with divine source. So thank you so much to those of you who celebrate Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. And I look forward to being with you tomorrow. Thank you.